video on brining this bit of pork. So I worked last night and a little bit of pork left over. So instead of just kind of cooking it or freezing it, I thought I'd have a go at brining. I've never brined anything before. So it's about 1.6 kilos of pork. Skin off. And how am I going to do this? I haven't actually thought this through. I just kind of thought we'll just brine it and we'll kind of then have a look up how many days I'm going to brine it for. Might turn it into bacon. We'll kind of see. So there is 2 litres of, no, there isn't 2 litres of water in there. Remember now, I did this last night when I got in from work, and I just boiled up some water and put in some salt. And the idea was that I just didn't boil enough water, so I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll just add some cold water to it tomorrow when I wake up. So it wants to be, I put in 70 grams of salt per litre, so, and some peppercorns. So there's 2 litres of liquid in there. Give that a stir around, and I put in some peppercorns as well. I've seen lots of brine recipes with lots and lots and lots of ingredients, and I kind of think that's all very well, but it kind of just adds to the cost of things, and I like to keep things cheap. So I'll probably too much liquid. No, just that'll be fine with that. So that's certainly going to sit in there for 24 hours. Let's just make sure that the brine gets underneath it and the peppercorns get underneath it. So it's certainly going to sit in there for 24 hours. If I decide to take it, brine it for longer, we'll kind of see. We'll see, but lid on, in the fridge, and I'm back later. This pork will have been in the brine too long. It's been in for 36 hours, I think. I didn't do it this morning, did I? No, it was yesterday morning. And we're now in the evening time, so this has been in far too long, and I did look it up. We're probably talking needs, you know, overnight type of thing, like 8 or 10 hours. But I'm still going to cook it. I'm not going to leave it in longer, because I did read something that said that if we leave it in too long, the meat can start to disintegrate, which is not what we want at all. So I'm going to cook it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but we're going to cook it. So pat off the excess brine. I would taste that brine. Probably fine to taste it because it's salty, so it'll kill any kind of nastiness from the raw pork, but not. And then I'm going to just cook it with a bit of what we've got to hand. We've got a bit of butter which can go underneath just to stop it from sticking. I'm not going to put any salt on it. I'm not going to do anything. We're just going to plain roast it. I'm not going to cover it or anything. It's just going to go in the oven like that. It's 1.5 kilos, so I reckon an hour. Or we'll look at it an hour and we'll put it up at 180 and we'll see what it's like. I'm not going to score the skin or anything like that. It looks nice and pink, doesn't it? Looks nice and pink. But anyway, I suppose an experiment to do in the future is to kind of see how long it would last in the brine as a way of preserving, but maybe we'll do that another time. So we are out of the oven after about an hour and 15 minutes, something like that. So, old school way of checking how cooked something is. Metal skewer into the meat. Just be a bit careful with pork. If you suspect that the pork is not ready, don't stick the skewer in, because we're going to touch this skewer to the bottom of on our bottom lip, and if it's hot to touch, it's cooked all the way through. I suppose we could. Let's find another. That's quite a sensitive part of the arm there, so we should be able to. If it feels hot there, yeah, that's kind of quite a turn apart. Yeah, that feels hot. That's hot to the touch. So we know that's cooked all the way through. We will rest that for 10 minutes, something like that, just to let it calm down a little bit, and then we'll come and we'll carve into it, and we'll see what it's like on the inside. I don't think it doesn't look like it's shrunk that much, does it? So that's maybe down to the brining, but we'll see what it's like in 10 or 15 minutes or so. Right, so let's find a knife and have a look. Straight in the centre, I think. That's alright. Looks alright. Looks nice and juicy. Not an ideal knife for this. And still a bit hot to touch. It's nice and juicy. But how does it taste? Yeah, it's lovely and juicy as that. Mmm. Mmm. That's lovely as that. So, when I worked and I bought this joint, I cut it up into steaks and roasted them in the oven with a bit of mustard and sugar, brown sugar. Very nice. But that's nicer now it's been brined. So potentially I could do the same again, but brine the chops, cut it in steaks, and then brine the steaks for a few hours or overnight, and then kind of cook them that way, and they would be nicer. Or even to roast it whole as a joint and then just carve it in steaks. I think that'd be kind of quite nice. That's lovely. It's lovely and juicy. Considering that I thought I'd messed it up by having it in the brine for too long, that seems fine. That seems fine. Well, as a first adventure into brining, that's a success.